My life, up until a week ago, was normal. I was a regular person with a regular house with a regular job. Not to say that I'm a boring person, there just wasn't anything different about me. Not like I'm complaining or anything. Anyway, one of my favorite things to do in my spare time was play video games. One series in particular that I could just never get enough of was the Doom games. It was wild, brutal fun that just never seemed to get old. I logged many hours into Doom Eternal, which was by far my favorite. One late Friday night, I hopped on Doom Eternal and scrolled through the mod pages to see if there was anything that caught my eye. I probably scrolled through the mod page for a good 45 minutes before I spotted one that caught my eye. It was called Sinner's Redemption. I clicked on the mod description and read it. It said, "This mod is for those wishing to cleanse their souls from sin. Once this mod is installed, you'll only have 7 days to beat it before you perish." I scoffed, thinking that whoever made this mod was kind of a nut job, but regardless, I thought why not, and I downloaded it. It took a lot longer than I thought it would to download, but finally, after about 2-ish hours, I came back to my PC after eating a snack to see that the mod was finally ready. Excited, I logged into Doom Eternal, and once I got into the menu, I saw it. Under the Horde Mode tab, there was another tab in purple titled Sinner's Redemption. I clicked on it, having absolutely no clue what I was about to get myself into. I was greeted with a black screen, and for a second I thought my game had crashed, but just before I was about to restart my laptop, suddenly there was a rapid flash of various colors, making my dark room look like I was at a metal concert. About 5 seconds later, the light stopped. I rubbed my eyes for a solid minute, thanking God that I didn't have epilepsy. "Man, whoever made this really should add a warning," I muttered, my vision finally returning to normal. Another minute later, I turned to face the screen. There was a text box in the middle of the screen saying, "Completing this mod will cleanse your entire being of wrongdoing. Failure to finish this mod within 7 days will result in serious consequences." I stared at the text for a second, then, like any other person would do, I closed off the text box and began to play the mod. At first, it seemed like it was just a normal Horde mode. There were 7 missions this time though, which seemed very long, but I noticed that each mission wasn't named after the map it took place on, but instead each mission was titled a random word. For example, the first mission was simply called Sloth, 4 out of 10. A few missions down the line had higher percentages. For example, Wrath, 8 out of 10, and Lust, 10 out of 10. A little confused, but not giving it too much thought, I started the first mission and began the first round. I saw the top right corner of the screen that there were 4 waves. The final wave marker glowed yellow, which indicated some sort of boss fight. The first 3 waves went by without any noticeable differences, and to be honest, I completely forgot I installed a mod in the first place. When I beat the 3rd wave, suddenly my screen, again, turned black. But it was only a second or 2 later that my screen lit up again, and what I saw truly horrified me. I saw myself? In-game, my body was insanely heavy. My hair seemed to be covered in grease, and my arms and legs were shaped like water balloons that had been filled with too much water. I just stared at the behemoth that stood before me, a million questions running through my mind, and it was only when the thing started attacking me that I snapped out of it and began firing. I didn't know what else to do. There was a boss health bar above the screen, and I was doing pretty significant damage to it. Noticing my damage, and despite me still being confused as hell, I began to get closer to the thing, only for it to smash a fist only a few inches away from me, making my health drop down to 5%. I quickly ran around the arena, and after finding a medkit, I kept shooting, making sure to keep my distance. It didn't take long before I took down the boss, and after it fell, I can't explain it, but I felt something inside me. Like a weight had come off my shoulders that I didn't know I was carrying. I was then met with a screen that said, "Next mission, Greed, is available in 24 hours. I sighed, and with that I turned off my PC and went to bed, my brain still spinning, asking more questions than I could answer. Why was I, or an altered version of me, in the game? Why did I have to wait 24 hours to play it again? Why were the missions named so weirdly? And what will happen next?